I'm Chris, and today we're going to make this studio light. Let's do this real quick.
Although this is a very simple build, there's a few things you're going to need. You're going to need some sort of container, some sort of light fixtures, and possibly even double light fixtures and single light fixtures to wire everything together, some hand tools, some sort of wire stripper, and various other components, maybe a hole saw or some way to cut holes into the container, and maybe even a drill. It's important to figure out how many light fixtures you can fit into your container. Not all containers are the exact same size, so I recommend making a dry fit to your container and kind of spacing everything out, making sure you can actually unscrew the light bulbs, making sure there's enough distance between the light bulb and the plastic, and just really enough room to fit everything. On the back of your container, be sure to space out and measure out exactly where you're going to drill the holes or cut the holes out. Be sure to look in the description if you want to see the original video that inspired this build. To make your spacing just a little bit easier, find and mark your center points. Now your placement and spacing is really going to be determined upon what size bulbs you plan on using. I found that using a hole saw and a drill was a lot easier than trying to use a carpenter's knife to cut out the holes. These particular light fixtures were less than $3 a piece at my local big box hardware store, and they're really easy to install. And drilling out the correct size holes means you just press fit them right into place. And with an extremely simple wiring installation, this is going to make for a nice easy project. And if you're not comfortable doing electrical work like this, please by all means don't do it. Definitely work safe. And it's as simple as taking the outside shielding off to expose the wires underneath. Now you don't have to strip the wires underneath with this particular setup. All you have to do is lay them on there and screw on the cap. And it's going to press fit a little needle right through the insulation, making contact with the wires inside. All you really need to worry about is wiring up each socket exactly the same. And we're going to wire all the sockets together in parallel. It also might be a good idea to mount a little wire holder right to the plastic itself. I'm going to drill a hole in both sides of the plastic just to make a light stand mount. Now your application may vary a little bit depending on what kind of light stands you're using and what kind of framework you want to make for the light stand mount itself. I believe Indy Mogul used a flagpole holder for his light mount. I used some inexpensive shelving hardware and some scrap pieces of metal I had laying around, and maybe even an electrical conduit connector. Now you don't have to make this exact, this was just what I had laying around that's going to fit for my build. Go ahead and install your Y sockets and screw in all your light bulbs. Be careful when doing this, make sure you're screwing them in at the base so you don't accidentally break the fluorescent light bulb itself. Make any final adjustments you need to, and then plug it in and test it out. Now I chose not to include any switches on this thing because I'm going to plug everything into a power strip anyways, but that's up to you and how your application is going to work. You could get really detailed with this if you wanted and have it switch on half the lights and all the lights. Really get creative in the way you want to build your studio light setup.
I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this video helpful in completing this build, please leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much.
Be sure to check out my DIY light table build.